So welcome everybody to our next Topical Tuesday session. Today we are talking with Scott from Mackin to sort of go over Mackin Curator again, any updates and anything to help you with your ordering. Like I stated earlier, your 3070 funding bulletin is coming out shortly. So make sure that if you have experience with 3070 funds or you have any specific questions, make sure to hit up Scott before he ends the session today. Here is the QR code for anybody that needs to sign in. I did put the sign in link in the chat box if you would like the direct link. And like I said, it is not necessary for you to sign in. If you forget, don't worry about it. We do get the attendance at the end of the session today. There are a lot of us on here. Please make sure that you stay on mute unless you have a question, and then you would raise your little hand down below on Google Meet, and then we will get to you shortly. Again, as always, please let Scott finish his sentence, finish his presentation, finish his thought before you unmute and ask a question. There will be time at the end to sort of go through all the questions for everybody. Okay, so now Scott, I'm done and it's your turn. If you want to go ahead and get started, and then we'll finish up and go over the rest of our items once Scott is done. So Scott, welcome. Thank you so much for being here, and take it away. Do you need the screen?
Yes, I think that would help. Thank you.
All right. All yours.
Can you see my screen?
Not yet. You want to use the in the middle down below. There you go. Now we can.
Okay. So instead of having to look at me, you get to look at my screen. That's even better.
We can see both.
Thank you for having me, Stephanie. I appreciate the invitation. I know for some of you, it's probably been a long time since you've seen me, maybe 3 days ago or so. But thank you for having me. Hopefully I will be using your time in a very valuable way. Stephanie has asked me to present our Mackin Curator program, which is basically a subscription service. So if instead of getting just one shipment of books per year, you'd rather get multiple shipments and always get new books in front of your students, then this is an excellent option for you. I'm going to go ahead and show you basically where the Mackin Curator information is. So if you see up here on my menu bar, I'm clicking on Library and then clicking on Mackin Curator. So I'm just going to do you a favor and read off the screen instead of repeating myself several times. So again, basically it's a print and digital service. You can't combine digital and print in one subscription, but you can do separate digital and print subscriptions if you prefer. And basically the way we do it, a lot of you are probably familiar with Junior Library Guild. So if you're familiar with that, you'll get a better idea of what we do here with Mackin Curator. But basically, it's a time saver for you. Instead of you having to constantly go in during the year and create lists, we would be happy to create lists for you. We ask you, and I'll show you the form in a little bit, you provide us with all the information that you would like included in the title lists, and then we'll send them to you a week before we're ready to fill the order, and you can make any adjustments at that time. So basically, again, it's a time savings for you. We know how busy media specialists are these days. So if you'd rather us go ahead and prepare the list for you, we're happy to do that. And under Created by Professionals, you can see we have librarians and teachers internally at Mackin. They read the reviews for all of the books that come in and that are made available through us. So we're only picking the best of the best as far as the titles that we include on these lists. Again, you get to approve the titles. So when we send you that list 7 days prior, you'll get to take out any titles you aren't interested in. You can replace those titles if you'd like, but you make the final decision on what comes in to your media center. And you basically decide the subscription price. The only requirement is it has to be a minimum of $1,000. but you can make it as high as you'd like, anything above the $1,000. Then you can start your subscription at any time. The books will come to you 3 different times during the year, and you get to select those 3 different months. So we're totally accommodating to what your schedule is. Now I'm going to take you to the Subscribe Now button and just briefly go over the form that we ask you to fill out to help us prepare these lists for you. So at the top, you'll have your basic information, your name, email address, school information. The important information is down here under additional details.
Did we lose him? Because he's frozen on my screen. Just until he comes back, maybe he'll restart. Again, this is sort of, you tell Mackin, you give them parameters, you give them what to look for, you give them books on certain genres, you say you only want books that have 2 positive reviews, age ranges, and they will come up with a list of books for you. And they would be delivered to you, would pay for it, and then they would be delivered to your school throughout the school year without you having to redo anything. So it's a sort of a subscription to a year's of new books. So sometimes it's easier like that. Some of us love Junior Library Guild, like you was saying. They did not meet the vendor selection. They didn't sign up. So we can't use them. So you would pay for the books. And Scott started with saying that it's a minimum of $1,000, or you can go all the way up, however many books you want. Then they would build out lists for you. And typically, I do believe, Anya, don't get me wrong, you would get a new list every time the order is about to be shipped. So, right?
Yes, you would get a list of all the books, and then you'll, go through it, make sure it's okay, and then you give them the go ahead.
Right. You get free shipments throughout the school year. It's not a monthly book subscription. It is a quarterly subscription of books. So you can change it at any moment, but they pull the books for you based on recommendations. So they're going to you give them parameters. Okay. I want these age ranges. I need graphic novels, biographies, nonfiction. I only want titles with 2 or more positive reviews. They're going to build out a list for you.
And
so
I'm
that
back.
list, Scott's back. So that list.
My computer just rebooted on its own, so I don't know why that happened, but go right ahead. You seem to be doing a good job.
Yeah, right. So that list that they provide to you, that's what you would post onto the stakeholder website. All right, back to you, Scott.
All right, let me get my screen back up here. And now it's not letting me share. I don't know why it's not letting me share. It's not giving me the option.
Do you want to drop the link in the chat box? I'll pull it up, or we can pull up Mackin on our side to show.
If you can do that, that would be fine.
Okay, I'll do that.
Perfect. And if you just want to go to library and Mackin Curator, and then just scroll back down to where you can select the form. So I'm not sure how much you went over, but I think you had already mentioned that you can put in the dollar amount that you're looking to work with. You can put in if we're to expect a purchase order from you, you can select, we already have the processing specs, obviously, for all the schools in Palm Beach County. Obviously, you're going to want your books processed before they come in. So you just want to make that selection. As I mentioned earlier, you're going to get 3 different shipments during the year. And here's where you get to select the months that you would like to receive the books. So you tell us the months that work for you. And we also have a little notation here. If there are times where you're going to be out of school, whether it's going to be school's closed for vacation, or you're going to be on vacation and you don't want the books coming when you're not there, or the lists for your approval coming when you're not going to be around, work your schedule around that and we'll accommodate you as best that we can. Then if you go down a little bit further, you see your content specifics. So this is where, as I mentioned before, you can do print, you can do digital, or you can do audio books, but you're not going to combine them all on one. You're going to choose one or the other. And then if you scroll down a little bit further, you can select the grades here. So obviously you can see we have it separated K2, 3, 5, 6, 8, and 9, 12. The first 2 obviously being for elementary schools, then middle and high school. So we'll know how to make the appropriate list for your grade levels. Then you can see all the other boxes we have available. So you get to tell us how you want us to break out the list. You can see there's a fiction, nonfiction, biographies, graphic novels. You put in the percentage in each box of how you want that list made up. So if you want 5 different categories and you want the same amount of books in each category, just put 20% in each box. You can do 100% of one, however you want to do it, as long as it adds up to 100%. Now, obviously, these are very general areas. So within fiction, you have things like mysteries and horror. So once you select fiction and the percentage you'd like for that to make up, in the box, there's a box below where you can go ahead and give us as much specific information as you'd like. So you can tell us within fiction, I want horror, mystery, joke books, whatever. Under nonfiction, I want books on animals, cars, sports, however you want to, more specific you want to be, we will tailor that list specifically to your need. Once you've done with that, and it's as simple as that, you just click on the submit form and we have all the information that we need. Now, a lot of people have questions before they fill out the form. There's a toll-free number further up on the screen here. If you're not comfortable filling it out without somebody on the Mackin end to assist you, feel free to give us a call at our toll-free number, 800-245-9540, and we'll have our Mackin Curator team work specifically with you to fill out the form. Now, if you scroll a little bit further down, we'll get to our FAQs. Are they not there? Maybe it's only on mine. Can you scroll down further, or is that the bottom? Anyway.
That's the bottom.
I did. On my screen, I see a frequently asked questions, but that's beside the point. So basically, I'll just go over the basic questions again that you might have. The books come 3 times a year. You get to select the months. You get to select the dollar amount. It has to be a minimum of $1,000 for a subscription. We will send you the list of titles we're going to send you for that particular month 7 days ahead of time. You review the list. So you're always the one who's going to get final approval on the list. If there are titles on that list you don't want, let us know and we'll remove them. If you want to replace them with specific titles of your choosing, you're free to do that. One thing I don't think I mentioned the first time around, the way it works, and we'll use $1,000 just as the baseline. The first shipment you get will be 1/3 of the total amount of your PO. So in this case, it would be $333. That would leave you with approximately $670 on the PO. The second month will take half of that amount. So again, it'll be around $330, and that'll leave you about $330 for the final shipment. So that's how we break that out. If you want to change that, or if you want more in one shipment and less in another, we can arrange that for you as well. Again, the books are all going to be, the fiction books will never have fewer than 2 positive reviews. The nonfiction books will have 1. But if you want any more if you want a book that has more reviews than that, let us know. But our inside professionals only really select the best of the best as far as the books that they put on the list. So you can rest assured they'll be age appropriate, and that there won't be an objection to the content in the books. One other benefit to doing this through Mackin, if you send us your MARC records from Destiny and we update your collection analysis, we'll be able to know what's in your collection. So we won't put a book on the list that's already in your collection. So you'll avoid duplicating any titles. Does anybody out there have any questions or something I might not have gone over as far as Mackin Curator specifically?
Yes, we do have some questions out there. Raquel?
I think you kind of answered it at the end. I was going to ask you, are these new releases like Junior Library Guild, or are you, pulling from, books that were released 5 or 6 years ago?
If you can, we'll stick to the last year for sure. If you're willing to go back further than that, you can let us know in your specific instructions. So if you're like, I'm okay with books from 2 or 3 years ago, you can let us know that, but otherwise we will only stick to current publications.
So you can request for new releases?
We're automatic. Well, when you say a new release, do you mean something that has not been published yet, or something that is already available?
Yeah, something that's coming out like next month, like in November.
Yes, absolutely. You can let us know that you want a book that has not officially been published as of yet.
Okay, we're just trying to raise that age of the collection, Thank
And
you.
We're concerned about that as well. We know, I go to schools all over South Florida, and I see the average age of collections, and they're getting very, very old everywhere I go. So that is a concern of ours, to make sure that you're only getting the newest copyrights into your collection.
So, Scott, we have another question. And for those of you that were not in the meeting, we had Scott meet with our new media specialists this past week. But something good to note is now Thorndike Press, the large print books, can now also be purchased at Mackin and with Mackin. Scott, somebody wants to know, are they allowed to request Spanish titles in Mackin Curator?
Yes. And we do have other foreign language titles as well: Portuguese, Haitian, Creole. If there are specific language requests you have, just let us know that that is something that you're looking for.
And would they be able to request large print?
Yes, absolutely. Anything that we have in our print collection is available for this subscription.
Excellent. So essentially, again, like the word says, you're curating this whole process of the selection, and instead of getting one giant set of books, it'll be broken up as a subscription for 3 months, and it'll
Correct.
sort of take the thinking out of it. And at least you know that once you did this one time, that you're going to get 3 sets of different books. This is what we do for all the schools that do not have a certified media specialist, and for the schools that do not have a certified media specialist. Are there any other questions for Scott while we have him here? Anything in general about Mackin that needs to be answered? They're quiet now, Scott, but they might reach out to you.
That must be me. But I was just, if I could just say in general.
Oh, please, yes.
I had mentioned before the collection analysis. What I would recommend, whether you're using Mackin Curator or not, to download your MARC records into your Mackin.com account, just to get an updated snapshot of your collection. No matter how you decide to order, that'll be a big help for you, because it engages that title match program where you'll be able to see what's already in your collection. So that's been a big help for people who are using it.
Anything else? I did a couple years ago, I do believe, sent out how to send your catalog of Destiny into through Mackin. I'll send out those directions again when I go over and we send out the recording of this. That way you have the directions in front of you if you want to send over your catalog and records over to Mackin, so they have that information for you. All right, so and if you also want to, Tracy is also saying that you can call and they walk you through the process as well on how to give them and download your mark records for them to have. All right, Scott. Well, thank you so much. This has been
My
very
pleasure. Just
helpful.
one last reminder. I'm available to come out to anybody's school if you want to work with me in person. I'm happy to spend some time with you at your school. So just keep that in mind. But otherwise, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it and look forward to working with you the rest of the school year.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care.
All right. So again, it's just a great tool for you to almost like a crock pot, right? Set it and forget it. Build it. Let them come up with lists. But again, let me be mindful to you. They are not the ones to review it. They are the first ones sort of, but they do a fantastic job selecting the titles. Very few have we had to ever say, not this, let's do this. But again, overall, you still need to review the titles once it gets sent to you. So any questions about Mackin before we move on for us that you can think of? Okay. So October 13th is our first PDD day. There are many different things happening around the district. Our main one for the secondary media specialists is the photography one. When we set it up in mind for everybody, but unfortunately science came back and said, really, it's really for secondary media specialists because it goes with the science standards. But anybody's welcome to join. If you just want to do the photography part, that's going to be in the afternoon from about 12 to 3. If you would rather do something else, the Cox Science Center is having a STEM open house with sort of 100 different STEM exhibits. There'll be many, many different vendors, and you can look at new materials, new items, new ideas to bring back to your library and to sort of start incorporating with your program. If not, and you want to use your time to do other things, we do understand. We are having a vetting Q&A session virtual from 9 to 10. You are more than welcome to join us for that if you have any specific vetting questions, and then use the rest of your day how you see fit. We do know that there's sort of different things happening at different levels that day. If you have not done so, please make sure that you have joined Emma. Emma did a fantastic job advocating for your time, your schedule, your rights as a media specialist. I was able to join them with the meeting with Superintendent Burke and Mr. Tierney. They had a lot of great things to not only say about you, but again, Mr. Burke and Mr. Tierney are busy working on hopefully solutions that fit everybody. Okay. But again, Emma is there to help. So make sure that you are joining them, joining all of us. They have many great opportunities and events coming. They had a blast at the Norton Museum last Friday, if anybody was able to go. And I know that there is a comedy show coming up soon. So there's a lot of events. Also, that's coming closer is AASL. Hopefully some of you are able to get out of the school, get out of the library, and be able to go to this fantastic national sort of event. This is first time in a long time that it is in Florida. So hopefully some of us are going to that. Anya on our side is going. She's going to be the district rep and bring back all the fantastic ideas and news and discussions for us. Is anybody else going? All right, we do have a few people. Fantastic. And then also we have FAME coming up in the middle of November, which is specifically for Florida and all Florida media specialists. So do take the time, ask for your school to pay for it, to sponsor it, and make sure that you get signed up. I do know that last Friday was the last date to sort of get a small discount, but there are still rooms and events and everything available for you to still join if you've not yet signed up for FAME. As always, looking at what you guys are doing in your libraries through Twitter is one of our favorite things to do. Like to see what the action is, what you guys are doing. So please continue to tag us, continue to tag leadership. We do look at it. They do look at it. And I know that it is one important way for us to keep promoting everything that we're doing inside of our media center that is not surrounded by paperwork. Students come first and they should be able to see that. Okay. So if you need points, make sure that you are signing up with us for Topical Tuesday. You'll get 20 points at the end of, I think I did 30. I don't know if I did 20 or 30 this year. I'll look into that. It might be 20. But you will get up to 20 points or more for you doing the accumulation activity at the end. All of the attendance pieces will come together as one, an accumulating activity at the end of the year. Be sure to sign up if you need the points. And next Topical Tuesday, which will be on October 17th, we will be meeting with our friends from Adobe. It will be Adobe Express. There are updates that are here that they want to tell you about and talk to you about. This meeting is going to be a little different. This is going to be on Zoom. We will send out the Zoom link, so you will not meet at this particular link for the next Topical Tuesday. If you have any ideas or anything that you want for Topical Tuesdays, please reach out and let us know. We have sort of the first half of the year, and we're just starting now to think about the next coming second half and the next month. So if you have ideas or something specific you'd like to go over, you want to incorporate, please let us know, and we will be sure to get that scheduled for you. With that, if there are no other questions or anything particular, I'm going to stop recording. We will see everybody next time on October 17th.